Can you believe it? Dragons in your own homeland. What are you going to do?
This one does not know, but he hopes his family is safe in Riverhold.
Oh, hello! Have you heard? A Bandari caravan came through and said dragons were spotted in the Khajiit homeland. I do so worry for the Khajiit. Do you think the rumors are true? Oh, hello! Have you... I do so worry for the... Oh, hello! I do so worry for...
This one hopes it is just wild tales told by the Bandari peddlers, hoping to drum up sales of emergency wares. This one hopes it is just wild tales told by the Bandari peddlers, hoping to drum up sales of emergency wares. This one is worried for his people, of course, but what can a simple farmhand do?
So, you heard, right? That they killed a dragon in Riverhold, and we have a queen! Can you imagine what this means?
Bright moons! A better Elsweyr is at hand, yes? Though it takes a lot of courage to place yourself in opposition to the usurper queen. That one must be shaking with rage right now, no?
The usurper queen deserves to be more than shaking in anger. Dark moons beset her. Bah! May Chimera's boldness see her through to her rightful role as our queen.
Boldness is an excellent trait to have in a queen. May she win through all that confronts her and go on to see Elsweyr thrive under her leadership.
Have you heard about the dragon sightings in Elsweyr? Multiple dragons. Dark moons. One dragon is bad enough.
More than heard. This one saw a dragon the other day. This one still shudders at the thought of that experience.
That sounds frightening. A friend of mine claims they came from the halls of Colossus, flew out, roaring angrily at everything. I hope this is just a rumor, though.
This one thinks not given what he has heard from the others and seen for himself. Nobody should have meddled in those ruins, yes? Now we all suffer.
Oh, my fur ripples in happiness.
Moons be praised.
Euraxia, the horrid usurper, is deposed. There might not be enough moon sugar and Tamriel to celebrate that.
Indeed, and an outsider stepped in to assist in that, which is a marvel. This one wishes all those involved in this change of circumstance well.
With our new queen, I hope to see great things. Though, of course, it can't happen overnight. I must remember my patience.
Patience does not agree with you on most days, but it is well to see you continue your practice. As for Elsweyr, yes, much work remains, including these dragons. This one does not envy our new queen.
At last, Queen Chimera wears the crown! I am proud to be living in such times. Aren't you excited?
This one is excited, yes, though perhaps not quite as obviously so as you are. As it stands, the challenges she overcame prove that she deserves to lead Elsweyr against the obstacles that remain.
Yes, exactly! She was brave and bold enough to confront Euraxia and win! Plus, she stopped the dragons from gaining whatever power they were seeking. Definitely queen material.
As you say, this one looks forward to seeing what she does next.
Riverhold offers a variety of fresh food from our many farms. You'll often find the herders of Enequina pass through the market. Of course, we'll never be as large or bustling as Rimen. Originally, our town was called Ralake, meaning Riverland in Tagra. But after centuries of trading with and being outright invaded by Cyrodiil, the name Riverhold was adopted. And so it has been for quite some time. Historically, Riverhold has passed back and forth between Nequina and Cyrodiil. Such difficulties can come with being a border town. Happily, we've been part of Elsweyr for centuries now.
Have you met the new investigator in town? Music Thunderboots, he calls himself. Pah. Have you ever heard anything so ridiculous? If he actually ends up solving a case, I'll eat my own right boot, and that's a promise. Why a sleepy town like Riverhold would need an investigator, I'll never know. And yet Music Thunderboots has set himself up in the Banished Regrets, just raring to solve a case. Pfft, what a fool.
Inuma once lived in Star Haven, a beautiful adeptorium with many wonderful adepts. But a dragon came and attacked our home, leaving much to rebuild and no comfort to be found. There was nothing left for this one in Star Haven. His quarters were destroyed along with all of his possessions. Inuma has nothing to his name but his faith. Still, he could have stayed to help rebuild, that is true. Too many sad memories. This one could not bear to stay, not after so much of his home was destroyed and so many of his friends were lost. Still, he will do what he can to help those in Riverhold.
An Imperial once tried to stroke this one while she slept in the sun. Thought Narani was someone's pet. Let us just say that he left Riverhold with less flesh than when he entered. Once Narani traveled to Grotwood, just across the border. It was only a matter of days before some wood elves tried to eat her, even after this one began to speak. So now she stays in Elsweyr. Unsurprisingly, the Alfik are often disrespected outside of Elsweyr. Here, everyone knows we are just as clever as any other Khajiit. But outside of these lands, well, there is a reason the Alfik do not travel.
Riverhold isn't just known for our farms, you know. We also export a good deal of fish due to the local river. Thus the name, yes? Though we can't hold a candle to southern Elsweyr, of course. This one's local farm is just nearby. She comes to Riverhold only to trade for supplies and catch up on the local gossip. And perhaps a drink or two at the Banished Regrets. Riverhold has always been known for our fertile farms and large harvests. Without our crops, the entire region would suffer. Let us just hope that the war does not get in the way of our good work, yes?
Victory is never assured in battle. But this one cannot help but worry that the odds are unfavorably stacked against us. After all, what hope have we against dragons? Still, we cannot allow Euraxia's tyranny to continue. We must fight. Euraxia must be stopped at all costs. And trust this one, there will be cost. That is why Jabanluk helps any way he can. No task is too small when there is so much to do. But when the battle comes, he will fight tooth and claw.
Gareshri may be our general, but on the battlefield, that's Captain Nalado's domain. She leads every charge. Make no mistake. We wouldn't have liberated Riverhold the first time without the leadership of Gareshri. He has our loyalty and respect. I suppose he gets that from being the Speaker of the Main, too. But you get the idea. I wasn't sure about Chimera at first. She's so young. But she knows what she's doing. Must be all the years of tutelage under Lord Gareshri.
So, I recently traveled past Two Moons Temple. I hate to say it, but I think the monks there have gone mad.
What makes you say that?
They said they were chasing butterflies, but I couldn't see any. They were chasing nothing. It was bizarre and, well, unsettling to see them behave so.
You saw nothing? Odd. You mentioned butterflies. This one has a bad feeling about that. A memory teases, and is gone. Oh well.
One of my friends told me that the monks at Two Moons are no longer chasing invisible butterflies. What a relief! I was worried about them.
That is good news indeed. But do we know what happened there?
Of course, I asked. You know me. It seems that Shigarath was driving the monks insane until someone came along to stop him. Gah! Shigarath, of all things.
Yes, this one does know you. And this one is happy that the monks are more themselves again. Chasing invisible butterflies. This one should have known it was the mad cat.
I'm hearing troubling rumors about Ashen Scar. Undead, mainly. I guess I can mark visiting there off my list.
Ah, yes. The stories of an undead plague there makes this one's fur stand on end. Will we be seeing throngs of undead marching out of there next? This!
You haven't heard that a necromancer is trying to stop the undead. I would not be surprised if you haven't. Because why would a necromancer try to stop undead?
More likely a necromancer seeks to control the undead, yes, not stop them. This one sees where your doubts spring from, most assuredly. I share them.
I heard that a necromancer named Bastari stopped the undead plague in the Ashen Scar. Though maybe she helped the person who actually stopped it.
Right, Moons, that's good news. This one never wants undead flowing out of the Ashen Scar. More solutions before more problems is a better trend.
Agreed, but I want to reiterate how suspicious I am of these necromancer's motives. Any necromancer's motives. I don't know. This seems too convenient.
No, this one agrees with you. Always question a necromancer's motives. Those who do not inevitably suffer.
Can anyone assist me?
Let us relieve you of your belongings, unclawed.
Over here! I need help!
An adept of Zizkora must remain mindful of the body's flow. But then probably so must other adepts. I only know my own practice and training.
Excessive movement, such as needless flourishes, simply drains your energy. Or so my master says. Better to use that energy for other purposes. The harder I train, the better the results. Soon I will fight dragons. After a long day of training, I relax by meditating under a waterfall. Perhaps I am unusual in this. Perhaps not.
I practice all day, yet it feels like I don't improve. I am learning much about futility, perhaps. Maybe I should become a Zizkura adept instead of Vrinthak. I don't think all this pounding on things with other things is working out for me. I don't think I am quite that violent of a person. I won't be wielding weapons like the other Vrinthak adepts soon. Even the practice ones are beyond me right now. Master tells me that I live in my head too much for weapon training. After only 1,000 more, I should be able to split rocks with my fists. Well, at least according to Master.
Greetings! It is good to see another traveler. Please, come join us for a few moments. We would love the company. Oh, we fell in together after various, well, troublesome incidents that I don't wish to go into right now. Too recent. Maybe after a few years. Instead, ask us questions about other things. Ah, yes! An idea! You can ask each of us about their kind. Yes! It is a great opportunity to learn more about the Khajiit. I am Katherat. Mojzin, the small one, is Alfik. Sharjo is Pamarat. Then there's Pajmina, the Senchrat, and Raifi, the Dagerat. And don't mind Sharjo. He'll warm up to you.
Ah, yes. Another traveler not of the Khajiit. I hope you fare better than the people of Elsweyr have of late. By chance, would you care to know more about my kind, the Alfik? I am happy to share, if only to prevent further misunderstandings. Excellent! I appreciate curiosity in others. Though diminutive compared to our fellow Khajiit, do not underestimate us, yes? Many of us are masters of spells, so please do not attempt to treat us as house cats. We resent that.
Another traveler, eh? Perhaps Raifi can provide you with knowledge that helps further your understanding of the Khajiit. As a Dagirat Khajiit, this one thinks you should know more about us. Under the bright moons, we jump and dance among the tree limbs of our home. In darker times, we use our cunning and magical arts. Yes, that is a good start. As with anything, most, but not all. And yes, start. We are varied, even as your kind is, and generalities close your mind. Also, we prefer to watch from afar before acting. When you do see us, we've likely been observing you for a while. Wonderful question. Yes, it is. And it is up to you to apply it as such. Perhaps that is enough information to ponder for now, yes? All of it is a good start, a basis to draw upon. Now keep an open mind and make your own observations, yes?
I have a potential surprise for you. I speak your language. And... very well. You are no fun. But if you want to know more about Sentrat, I'll still talk to you about them. Oh yes, I am. And you would not believe how many people are surprised when one of us speaks. I mean, speaks a language, not yowls. Normally, we speak Tagra. But we can understand other languages, and sometimes choose to join in on conversations. Oh, one of those, eh? Yes, we can choose to allow people to ride us. Choose, though, it's a choice. Don't assume, as Raifi would say, but with more words. Any other questions? You mean talk like you do, right? You know, I don't think I want to answer that question. Perhaps go find out for yourself. It's more fun that way.
Yeah, I see you there sizing me up. Never seen a Pomerat before. Oh, wait. You're going to ask me questions now, aren't you? Go ahead. Far be it for me to deny you your questions. To a point. Knowledge leads to victory, I guess. Raifi here would tell you that generalities are only starting points to a larger discussion. Since I don't want a larger discussion, here's what you get. Pomerat are stronger than other Khajiit. We fight. You'd actually believe me if I told you yes? Ha! But sure, we're known for our fighting and our endurance. We're often chosen to work as bodyguards and warriors. Many of us also know military tactics too. Just ask. But not me, and not now.
Greetings! Eclectic, eh? Perhaps we are a strange group, but we are first and foremost chosen family. The best kind of family, of course.
It is time for this one to share lore about Alkosh, the Dragon King of Cats. Pay heed.
Born now. Where is the food?
Alkosh! I'd rather be chased by guards than listen to this religious dreck.
This one wonders why any would even try to teach these ruffians. They don't listen. This one teaches those who strayed from Khajiit Moors. For those who listen, I offer a meal in return. This one hopes to convince at least one person to turn from a life of crime and instead join my aleatorium. About our pantheon, starting from the beginning with Anur and Fadomai, and how they gave birth to Alkosh, the first cat. You are right. Perhaps this one should start with Serendar, the god of mercy.
Oh, this bloviating moon priest offered us a meal, but we must listen to his long-winded speeches about gods first. Bandar's exile? I learned all this as a child. I don't care to hear it again. I just want the food. Oh, and in case you didn't know, Bandar is the bandit god. See? I already know what I need to know. Hold on. You're working with the moon priest, aren't you? Testing what we learn from him before we get food. Look, I might be struggling to survive right now, but I am also a scholar. I don't need his words. I just need food.
The diva considered making a break for it, but this one's stomach growls with hunger. Zativa does not like the decision before her.
This priest does not offer me enough to listen to all these words. Food only? Bah! Yes, he came to our camp and offered us a meal if we heard him out. I didn't think he would rattle on about the gods. This! What gall!
Dark rumors of necromancy in Elsweyr drew me out of my home to find those who need help. Be watchful, Walker. No, though I have soothed some of the suffering that this dark art creates. I have heard of an orc who raises the dead as well. Perhaps he is the source of the harm my healing skills mitigates.
Did you hear? They killed a dragon in Riverhold. A dragon! You're jesting, right? I'll wait a bit longer. I hope dragons are like lightning and never strike the same place twice. But I also hope that Riverhold would be safer than Cyrodiil. Look how that turned out.
Did you hear? Rimmon belongs to the Khajiit again. And Queen Kamira lives! Still, this one suspects that much remains to be done. Things sound chaotic. This one will wait until more has settled down before returning.
The moons do not exist. This explains why no one has been there, yes? If the necropolis for Rimmon is not in Rimmon, why is it called Rimmon Necropolis? We've met? It must have been this one's brother, Naik the Fibber. Necromancers focus on raising the dead. Naik wonders, why not raise crops instead? It is best to never speak of dragons, lest they show up. This Naik has learned. In Tamriel we grow moon sugar. On the moon do they grow Tamriel sugar? The Argonians claim to be communing with the Hist, but Maik thinks they are just napping. Some doors, when opened, cannot be shut again. This is why windows are better options. This one thought he saw a Pomerat yesterday. Turned out it was two Dagirat standing on each other's shoulders. Upon further reflection, Maik still finds the idea of animated corpses frightening, especially those of the Alfiq. Do not ask why. You have heard that the Khajiit love naps, yes? So does Maik, though maybe Maik is napping now, and this conversation is but a dream.
Bazdal has been confined in Rimmon for far too long. He needs open fields to stretch and run. Instead, he is forced to walk crowded city streets.
The dragons took everything from this one. Her home, her hope, her future. Now Urbina wanders Rimmon, hoping to find her faith once more. So many come to Urbina for hope, for guidance, and so this one tries to offer solace as a good adept should. But how much longer can Urbina offer guidance when she too feels so very lost?
I finally have the chance to study dragons, some of the most powerful, most elusive creatures that Tamriel has to offer. And where do they decide to appear? In Elsweyr, Of all places. Despite popular belief, many have theorized that dragons still survived in Tamriel. Now we have conclusive proof that they simply hid themselves away. Or, in the case of the Halls of Colossus, that they had been forcibly trapped. How am I supposed to study dragons when you hero types keep killing them? Have you no consideration for scholarship?
Alms, Walker. Alms for a sick Khajiit. Oh, Walker. Bindabi's afflictions are like stars on a moonless night. Countless, countless. But they all stem from the flu. The Nahadan plague ravaged my village, killed my uncle, my mother, my father, my husband. It ruined everything. No, my people are superstitious by nature. When they see a stricken, scarred Khajiit like me, they kiss their talismans and run away. They think me cursed. One who has survived the flu can no longer spread it. But the people here do not care. I understand, Walker. If you change your mind, Bindabi will be here. She has nowhere else to go, after all. Oh, bless you, Walker. Mara, bless you. This will buy me new dressings and a decent meal at the very least. This one promises she will not forget this kindness.
Rari once thought to travel Tamriel in order to broaden his knowledge. He made it as far as Gratwood before realizing that few were willing to speak seriously to a magical talking cat. And so he stays in Rimmen. Rari cannot tell you how many times an outsider has cooed and crooned and even attempted to cuddle him. This one, a fully grown Alfreak. Their ignorance continues to astound. Many scholars visit Rimmen, but few speak to Rari. Because of his form, they believe him to have the intelligence of a mere house cat. I am amused that those who claim to be so knowledgeable can be so ignorant. What else can I be? Many scholars visit. Fear is a moonless night, blinding us to the path ahead. And yet, there are still the stars. They light our skies and guide us forward, though they might not be as bright. And always, always there will be the sunrise. This we cannot forget. There are those who speak words of smoke, wilting your whiskers. They wish for nothing more than to choke you with their despair. Do not let them. Look to the skies above and breathe in that gentle air. Know that their desperation is not your own. It takes only a single voice to plant the seed that will sprout into courage. Yet, without the support of others, that sprout will never grow. Be the rain that soothes, the sun that shines. Be that which nourishes a hero's heart.
Another beautiful day in Queen Euraxia's Rimmen. Tamruz grows so tired of his compatriots yowling. Rule by Imperial Conqueror is a glorious thing, Walker. A glorious, lucrative thing. You should avoid the fringe elements, Walker. The hissing malcontents that curse Queen Euraxia's name. Nothing but lazy rabble-rousers, the lot of them. Another beautiful day in... You should avoid...
Don't pay the locals any heed, newcomer. The Khajiit of Rimmon are only happy when they're sugar drunk or complaining about Queen Euraxia. The locals may chafe under Euraxia's rule, but they'd be lost without her. Everyone knows these Rimmonites don't have the capacity for self-governance. They're good for nothing but petty squabbles and superstition.
I was ever so excited when Queen Euraxia invited me to visit Rimmon. I had never traveled outside of Somerset, and I thought it would be a grand opportunity to see new sights. Little did I know I was walking into a battleground. I must say, Queen Euraxia has been nothing but a gracious host. However, it is a little difficult to see past her particular disposition when it comes to leadership, such as her siege weapons aimed into the city.
Rimmon has a colorful air about it, wouldn't you say? Though I suppose that has more to do with the Khajiit who live here than with anything else. It makes Gratwood seem downright dull in comparison, I'll tell you that. I still remember my first taste of moon sugar. Never had I experienced something so simply divine, so sweetly seductive. It's a small wonder that the Khajiit worship the stuff. Have you been to the Sugar Bowl? I simply can't recommend it enough. The food is delicious, and the entertainment doubly so. I'd recommend speaking to Zadazi if you're up for a night you won't soon forget. Have you been to the Sugar Bowl?
Certain Furstocks don't tend to venture out of Elsweyr much. Elfiks are constantly talked down to given their small size. Sensorats are mistaken for beasts and may be attacked. It is a sadness that the rest of Tamriel is so ignorant. The Khajiit don't tend to discriminate against different Furstocks, but we are practical. A little Elfik is less likely to be hired as a laborer than, say, a nice big Pamar. And you won't find many Sensorat carpenters. No thumbs, you see. There are many different kinds of Khajiit. Pamars, Dagis, Senchis. Each has a certain form to suit a certain purpose. And all Furstocks are granted due respect regardless of size or shape.
The other races call Khajiit cowards, call us weak. All nonsense, of course. We are cunning. There is a time in battle to strike, to retreat, to strike once more. We do not allow foolish pride to get in the way of winning. That is all. Swords, axes, staves, bah! Nothing compares to the power and cunning of claw-to-claw combat. This every Khajiit knows. Want to truly test your might? Throw down your weapons and put up your paws! There is nothing quite as satisfying as your paw connecting squarely with your enemy's jaw. and when you hear the bone crack, ah, such a lovely sound.
If you're looking to travel south, I have one word of warning. Don't. There's nothing down there but thieves and cutthroats. Best to stay up north where it's safe. Well, safer at least. The Nahatan flu hit southern Elsweyr harder than just about anywhere else. Entire cities were burned down in an attempt to contain the disease. It'll be centuries before the land is fully recovered. The only ones left in southern Elsweyr are opportunists, those who decided to profit off the chaos and suffering of the Nahatan flu. I'd rather live in the streets of Rimmon than bow to the crooks that now rule Senchal.
Sure, I can scare a few city folk and stomp out the occasional uprising. But if this resistance in Riverhold turns out to be something that catches on, well, let's just say I prefer to support the winning side. Don't get me wrong, I'm quite aware of just how much of a Muskar's Euraxia is, but she pays her soldiers well, and on time to boot. Hard for a mercenary to turn down steady work is all.
Jerba has lovers all over Rimmon. Some strong and confident, some weak and compliant. You strike this one as the former, yes? You look vigorous, assertive, yes? This one loves a walker who can tell her what to do. Just so long as they let Jerba decide how to do it. Hey there, sweetmeat. What's your hurry? We could use some fresh faces here in Rimmon. Strangers are so much more enticing.
Huh, I'm never alone for long in this city. Whenever I visit a tavern or take a stroll, it seems that there's always a friendly Khajiit who wishes to converse with me. Many of the Khajiit I've befriended have started calling me sweetmeat. I'm not quite sure what it means, but I've been told it's a compliment. Huh, the Khajiit here have been just so kind. I've had several invite me to dinner with them, and several more offering gifts of welcome. Who knew that Elsweyr would be so welcoming to travelers?
I didn't always live here, you know. Before the anchors started falling in Cyrodiil, I was a man of means. Respected. Envied. Now I'm just a mark for these bloody Rimmonites. Take my advice and get out of here while you can. Have a care about these Rimmonites, friend. Furry scamps will cut a throat just as quick as they cut a purse. Mara's mercy, I hate it here. The Rimmonites need a steady hand. Discipline. Take that away and this city would be a shambles.
These dragons were better off locked away. If the Arkaviri could best them, then what chance do they have against the might of the Aldmeri Dominion? Emmerich and the Skald King quake at our approach. These beasts will learn to do the same. Queen Iren's heart bleeds for the Khajiit, but those considerations are subordinate to the interests of the Dominion. The Golden Banner cannot turn southward yet. Once the conquest of Cyrodiil is complete, then we will deal with matters here. This business with the dragons, it's a tragedy, but dragons or not, there's a war on. The Dominion has its heel on the throat of both the Covenant and the Pact. If we redirect our forces here, we might suffer losses in Cyrodiil. We can't have that.
What's that smell? Oh, I see. A Covenant drag eel has decided to grace Rimmon with her presence. Were this the battlefield, you would already have an arrow between your eyes. Luckily for you, I've been asked to keep this a peaceful visit. Still, best to be on your way before I conveniently forget such orders.
Ah, a hero! You fought these dragons, right? If I could just scrape your armor for some salivary residue, or maybe just examine the claw marks, it would only take a month or two, promise. Dragons? Real dragons? I can scarcely believe it. If I could study just one of their scales and rush a treatise into print, Mara's heart, I could win the Gwylan Prize! The dragons are endlessly fascinating, wouldn't you agree? How do they fly, given their prodigious size? How do they breathe fire? Oh, so many questions.
Don't call us mounts. Nobody mounts a Senchrat. Riders shut up and follow where we lead, or they land whiskers first in the mud. If you want a mount, go buy a dumb animal. The doggy made fun of Tsazara once. Joked about this one's lack of opposable thumbs. So Tsazara bit his hands off. What's funnier than a Senchrat with no thumbs? A doggy with no hands, right? You're new, yes? Here's some advice. Don't ask a Senchrat for permission to ride bareback. It is weirder for us than it is for you.